Hello and welcome to Stamping and Sipping with Tea. My name is Teresa, and in today's video I am going to take you through step by step how to create this adorable daffodil card. Yep, we're going to use the little Bumblebee trinket as well. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing you're going to want to get is this Daffodil Daydream bundle. It is currently in the January to June 2022 mini catalog. It's found on page 37. As always, I encourage you to purchase the bundle from your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator whenever possible. The reason being is you can get additional 10% off. So look at all the dies this comes with. Now what I do is I take my dies, and this is just a piece of magnetic stripping. You can usually get this at your local hardware store. These are sheets, they come in sheets, and they're used to like cover vents and things like that. But I cut them down and I glue them on, in this case, a piece to a real heavy piece of cardboard, because this set had so many dies. These are to create the daffodils, and these are to cut out either the butterflies or the daffodil bundles. So because it's two-sided, it's just resting in here. Now for this one, we're going to use the single, oops, I popped that off the back, didn't I? That's okay, it'll go. But for this one, we're going to just use the single daffodil, the single flower. Let me put this off over there. And I'm using, because I just have it out, this is block, in case you're interested, block E. And what I did is I took, because it was right here, I used Memento ink, and I inked it up, and then I just stamped it onto a piece of scrap cardstock. So that's already been done for us. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how I colored it. I used 4 stamping blends. Now the beauty of this is it's just 2 sets because they're sold in sets. So I have the light and dark Daffodil Delight, and I have the light and dark Granny Apple Green. So starting with the light color, I just filled in the entire flower. And I didn't worry if I left some untouched. You know, if you have a little bit of the white still peeking through, that's okay. It will work. It's not a problem. But if you want to color the whole thing in, go right ahead and do that too. I don't want you to stress about it. There's just no need to. And while that dries, I'm going to get the light Granny Apple Green. Using the bold tip, you have a bold tip end and a much thinner tip end. I feel like I can use the bolder side. Again, it doesn't have to be perfection. I just follow. Oh, it looks like I've used this one a lot. Okay, here we go. If you're not comfortable using the bolder tip, because for whatever reason it's causing you issues, feel free to use the fine end. And let's go ahead and lay down some color. Boom. And while that dries, so we've used the light colors, I'm going to set those off to the side. I'm now going to come back in with my Daffodil Delight, the dark. Again, I'm using the bolder tip end. You want to see the difference in case you haven't? See, this is just much bigger and thicker. That is thinner and smaller. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to apply the darker where I want some shading effect to go. Now, excuse me. If you know more about shading, and you probably do than I do, and you're looking at this and you're like, oh no, you're doing it all wrong. That's not how it would be at all. Well, that's okay. You can put that down in the comments because other people might find it more helpful. But I just, you know, I don't stress about those things. I find it still looks good, and I always kind of follow those shading lines that the artist has given us. All right, now going in with the Granny Apple Green again. Using this thinner side, I'm going to apply where I feel some shading would be. In this portion right here, underneath this leaf, I think it would kind of fall into the shade mark. Down here, might be in the shadows, I guess is a better term. Right about there where it meets, then kind of coming through for this line, sharing both. Look at that wiggly hand that I have. Not a problem, put some here. Then, for the green, I did go back with my light Granny Apple Green, and I did just kind of go over it. And what I found, and you'll see it in a second, is that when it dried, it wasn't as, the contrast wasn't as sharp once it dried. So unless you want the sharp contrast, you can do that too, okay? Now, since you purchased the bundle, I do encourage you to do it. If you purchase the bundle, what you can do at that point is get your die for this single flower. And here's the trick. I think I show it in pretty much every video that I do because I find it very helpful. I have an older Big Shot machine from Stampin' Up, and my plates are kind of wobbly and warped and things slide. And I had seen somebody else do this, and this has come in handy. You can use washi tape. I use Post-it notes. I have a ton of Post-it notes, and that's what I do. So I can take this over to the Big Shot machine, and to save time, you know I have pre-done it. Boom. Now what I want you to be mindful, in this case, there are 3 center hole pieces. Let's see if I can do it with just this. Yeah. I just needed to punch those out. Boom. So I have my flower. Let's get to assembling. I mean, to me, it's a very quick card to assemble, but man, I think that's just gorgeous. All right. So next I used So Saffron cardstock. You want it to be 5.5 by 8.5. On the 8.5 inch side, you do want to score it in half, which would be at 4 1/4. Okay. And if you have the bone folders, they just help make a nice creased, sharp edge. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to insert my white cardstock on the inside. I came in 1/4 inch, so this would measure 4 by 5 1/4. If you don't have a 1/4 round punch, you might want to consider getting one. And if you do get one, this is probably about 10 years old, give or take. So when I punch, you're going to see the scraps fall down. So if you get one, it's just a handy little hint. If you hate having this stuff to clean up afterwards, get a punch where the pieces, there's a little container so you don't have them flying around your work surface. But I inherited this. I own it. I'm not buying another one. It's just a hint. If you're getting one, if you need one, get one that has that little holder. Using my Stampin' Seal Plus. Love this stuff. I've got more. Sometimes I run out. I'm just applying it as close as I can to all 4 sides. Now, what I liked about this is Daffodil Dreams, the Daffodil Daydream stamp set does come with a sentiment that says Happy Easter or Easter Blessings. It also has Happy Mother's Day. I no longer have a need for Happy Mother's Day, but anyhow, I can use the Easter Blessings for myself. I mean, I could make Happy Mother's Day cards for other people, but I'll use the Easter Blessings. Let me get a little, let's see, what block? I believe, will this block work? Yep, this one will work. This is a B block. Now, I am going to use the Granny Apple Green ink. Love that things coordinate. I can't tell you how much I love that. Some people really work long and hard to make this just so straight and so perfect. I'm going to stamp this off to the side, a piece of side paper I have just to make sure I've got it inked well. I don't tend to work too hard to make it just perfect. I just like it at a little bit of an angle so it looks intentional, and that's how I'm going to do that. All right, let's go ahead. So the base of the card is already finished. Can you believe it? Now to start layering it up. This is where it's going to get fun. Do you see here on this card how just 2 sides are rounded? This is a technique that was really happening back around what? Oh, probably 10 years ago when I got started. You just want to lower right-hand corner, turn it all the way so that you have an opposing lower right-hand corner. Boom, done. Just like that. We can go ahead and apply this. Or, it depends. I can apply this and then apply the black, or we can do it this way. You do need a piece, if you're really mimicking this card exactly, you need a piece of black cardstock. Now my black cardstock measures 3 3/4, because I came in another 1/4 inch, by 5 inches. This is embossed. I used Stampin' Up's Tasteful Textile. I wrote it on the back just so I would make sure I would remember when I show you. And I just think that that packs a powerful added punch. So again, lower right-hand corner, turn it all the way. Lower right-hand corner. Again, if you're getting a punch, get one where it collects it. I have these pieces I'll need to vacuum. See, if you're unsure about how accurate you are with lining it up by doing one then the other, you can always do the black onto the white first. That's how we're going to do it. I'm going to use, I know, shock among shock, Tombow glue instead of my Stampin' Seal Plus, because my Stampin' Seal Plus on certain embossing folders or embossing patterns, such as this one, pulls my cardstock up, and I don't know why. I'm not sure why it does that. I'm sure there's a science behind it that I don't know. But I have found that in those instances, very thin amount, by the way. I don't think I'm in screenshot. Very thin amount, not thick. But in these instances, I have found it is better for me to use the Tombow glue. So now, let me get this picked up just right. And again, I want to be very mindful, although I don't think it would matter, no matter which way I did it. And we're going to apply this, and I'm eyeballing it. Now, the beauty of this too is that the glue gives you a little movability for a couple of seconds. So that's nice. Okay, give that just a quick, nice press, quick second to dry. And for this one, I am going back to my Stampin' Seal Plus because I like it. It's the best I've found. Contact your local Stampin' Up demonstrator if you need to get your hands on some. Okay, and again, I'm going to bring this a little closer to make sure I can see it. And is there a right or wrong? See, I'm glad I opened it because I want to make sure it's the correct way. Always double check, kind of like in carpentry. Measure twice. This time you want to just take a peek twice. See how close we are to being done? Oh, now again, using my Tombow glue, really applying, I'm going to make sure my pressure's light, applying a light layer of glue, getting into all the little leaves around the opening, down here, all the way to the bottom, light amount of glue when I'm going around the edges. I like to keep it thin. And let's go ahead and put him in place. And you can position your flower however you want, but I think it's better to kind of have it a little bit more straight up and down. See how I'm just trying to keep it straight up and down. Now, what really makes it, you could stop there, and I think it's a beautiful card, but I love these bees. How many comes into a set? You get, I'm still working on my first set, you get 20 Bumblebee Trinkets. Isn't that wonderful? 20 of them. They are still available. They are in the current annual catalog on page 141. You can still get these. You know I'm going to be placing another order for more. But anyhow, we're going to position him. I have some of these Zots. They're called Zots Bling. Minuscule, tiny. Look at that. 325 of them came into this. So I purchased this at a local arts and crafts store. I don't know if it was, the big name that begins with an H or the one that begins with an M. It doesn't matter. But I find these work wonderful. I was in desperate need of one at the time, so I went out and got them, and they work great. Let's just press that and peel off. The glue dot should come with it, and it did. And this is where you have a little creative license. In my opinion, I like the bumblebee flying towards a flower. I suppose you could have the bumblebee going away from the flower, but nope. In my world, that bumblebee is headed straight into that flower. And there you have it. What do you think? Do you like it? I think it's stunning. I love it. You can use it with the Happy Easter blessings on the inside. You could use it for the Mother's Day. You can grab a sentiment. Maybe you have a friend whose birthday's in March. You can use a happy birthday greeting on this as well. Let me make sure we can get this a little closer up. I think we're going to just do the one. So you can take a nice close-up picture of it. And I'll put the Daffodil bundle next to it so you know which card it's coming from. Let me grab this and reach over here. Oh, that's too shiny, Teresa. Ooh, nobody wants to see that. Hold on, let's put this behind. Nope, that light's still too shiny. Sorry, guys, bear with me. Maybe that's it. All right, hold on. Oh, everything is too shiny. Oy. Oy, oy, oy. But I will not be deterred. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll just hold it this way. No, there's got to be a way to do this. There has to be a way. I feel like it should. Sorry, that's probably bothering you guys. Ugh. See these lights that we use so that you can see our work? It's kind of a pain sometimes. What if I put it right in there? Oh, forget it. It's the Daffodil Daydream bundle, if you need it. It's also, we spelled it out, but there you go. If you want to take a screenshot, there you have it. If you liked this video, if you liked the card, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. If you want to be notified the next time we post the next video, and there is another one in the works as we speak, be sure to subscribe and click on your bell icon, turn on your notifications. That way you will be notified when we post the next video. Thank you for popping by the channel. I hope you give this a try. And in the meantime, and until the next time, happy stamping.